Finally, the Trav has come back to book it.
Welcome to Book It Wrestling Podcast for the fans, by the fans, where we book, rebook, and revisit your favorite wrestling storylines. I'm your commissioner, Lil X Fudge, and today we are here with your GMs, Damone D Money.
I'm just glad CM Punk is back home.
Ugh. Bad guy Kenny.
Oh, yeah.
The 11th return of Hi-Fi Mike.
Party on, Garth.
And the second return of Primetime Travvy T.
Give me my own gimmick. I don't want to count my returns like I'm Mike. Give me something else.
You should give him the return gimmick, seeing as he's been gone way longer than me.
Yeah.
I only left for a few months.
Me too.
No, get the
He
fuck
left
out
for a
of
few
here.
more months.
A few months plus.
It's all relative.
Fucking 24.
And if you to look at my life as a whole,
I don't.
my
want that.
absence from Book It was only a few months.
That's
in
not
reality.
that's not
It
how
is.
that works.
That's exactly how time works.
I guess it kind of technically, yeah. I
Right,
guess.
but we're still comparing it to my time gone.
You are. I'm not. I'm not doing that. You're doing that. You're the one that wants to make this a competition.
In the history of
We can
time,
both be great.
I'm sorry
Mike.
that I came
We
back.
can
That was
both
a
be great,
beautiful
okay?
gaslight. Well
in the
done.
history of time itself, you've only been gone for like a 0.2 or 0.2 seconds.
Travis dangerous
Which
on
is-
these
but
streets
that's
and
the
gaslight
history
like
of
that
the earth.
by instinct. He got
That's
Mike
not how
out in
this
his own
works.
reality.
I like how Damone's coming up for bat for him. He has to fight his
We wanna-
battle.
we
Hey,
wanna
and
keep him on
that's
the
why
show.
Damone's my best
Got a
friend.
few more
And
months.
then
Fuck
in
you. I don't have friends, I guess. I don't know.
You can have
Yo.
friends. What?
He's not best.
I don't have any friends. Let's go,
Wow.
let's call it what it is. Let's go.
Mike doesn't
I don't
have
like
any
this
friends.
segment. I don't like this.
Mike's
Alright,
sad.
Travis, can you give us your promotion show name and a quick recap for our viewers who are dumb enough not to watch last week?
Certainly. This is Global Pro Wrestling. It's GPW Civil Wars, the show. It's a 2-night event, and this is the second part of night 1 because I didn't write enough to have night 1 be one part. So,
Which is a rarity that he didn't write enough.
Yeah.
Usually it's that he wrote too much.
And normally we get 3 parts. This motherfucker wrote like a dissertation.
yeah, it's coming. Don't you worry.
Hey.
So if you missed the episode last week, stop what you're doing and go back and listen right motherfucking now. But
No.
you did,
listen-
you just want a little quick
continue
catch up.
Continue to watch right now, then
Yeah,
go
it's like-
back, and then rewatch again.
Well,
It's like a
fast
little
forward,
mystery.
fast forward like 60 seconds from now because I'm about to go over the results.
It-
Uh,
It's like an episode of Lost.
we had the Shield versus the Elite versus Undisputed Era in a trios triple threat Anarchy in the Arena match that saw the Shield emerge victorious. We also saw Damage Control face off against Toxic Attraction in a trios match that saw I think, I don't know who won it. I don't have the finish one here. I think it was Damage Control that won. And then we had Teddy Hart versus Mustafa Ali versus Chad Gable in a triple threat match that Teddy Hart was able to win. But then he was surprised by his Uncle Brett on the Globaltron, who promised to return to GPW and drag Teddy Hart to the dungeon. Y'all ready for some GPW?
Yeah, baby. Show us part 2.
Civil
right.
War. Civil
Got Uncle
War.
Diddles drag him to the basement.
See,
and
Travis
dribble him.
does chant that on his own time, but usually it's for different reasons.
Wow. Wow.
He loved his trip.
Let's not forget which of us on this cast created an alter ego called Southern X White Man to boycott the first ever black-owned
It was not a
Alliance
boycott. I
Just
watched
saying.
the show
show. Just
and I
saying.
rated it very handsomely.
He meant to protest. You protested.
Well, I did not
it, though.
protest. I gave that segment a 4 the moment I went on. That segment ended racism, actually. You know what? And also, that is a character. This is the real you. Okay, okay, honey.
Hey,
Are you
It's
saying I
funny-
ended racism and sexism? Are you saying that?
Yes, I helped you end racism, though. Just remember that in the footnotes.
you ended racism.
That is the most racist
Started
thing
it.
you've ever said.
It's a very
You-
long
A
list.
white man saying he ended racism.
Y'all said the same thing about Cody Rhodes for the
Yeah,
last
get
5
a
years.
mic,
Oh,
get a
shut the
mic.
fuck up.
Who?
Cody Rhodes is Hispanic, sir.
Right, Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is.
He's
Hispanic.
Cuban.
Cody Rhodes is my cousin. He bring the potato salad.
That sounds like what he'd bring. They used to call John Cena potato salad on Reddit. But
I
anyway.
thought about buying potato salad today.
Why?
Well, there's this bit on Reddit where they switched the names of certain subreddits with another one. So, like, if you went to r-potato salad, it'd be pictures of John Cena, and r-John Cena would be pictures of potato salad.
I
do
hate
remember
the
that
internet.
era.
There was like a few
That
other
era
ones
was
like
trash.
that.
I don't like that you're ending potato salad with an A instead of an O.
Potato.
It's weird
Potato
That
that
salad.
Southern
you're,
white man making a return.
it's weird that you're in a potato salad subreddit.
I also agree with that. That's also weird.
Like who?
Well, I
Hey,
was
me and
reading
Mike are
the
back.
blog
We're back.
one,
Why
wondering
is
why
there
I
a
was
back
saying
in.
potato salad. Y'all
Is there
don't think I
also
went to the John Cena
macaroni
one
salad?
first? Like,
Is there macaroni
I don't
salad?
even
Hey,
like potato
I
salad.
will say this: potato salad is the best Tyler the Creator song that there is. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm not gonna argue with it because I don't listen to him.
I don't either, but I like that song.
And he probably thinks he's too zesty.
All I know is a fucking triceratops. No, I'm not.
I just think
That's
he's
all I know.
weird more than anything.
I mean, I like Yonkers.
definitely is
I like,
weird.
I
I
like
like-
the hits.
I
I
like
can't get into
Tyler.
that shit. Best song he made was right after he came out gay. He's like, "You make my earthquake." I was like, "This shit fire." That's the best song he made.
Oh, Kenny out
I don't
here
even know the
making
name of it. But that's
earthquakes.
the best song he made. You make my earthquake.
I fuck with Sticky.
I like the whole Goblin album, but that's about where I stood.
Yeah, I've heard everything after Goblin was good, but I only heard like Goblin like the peak of like him being cool when I was in high school. Like after that, everybody stayed fucking with him, but I just never like followed.
Around
his
that
new
era,
music.
everything that they were doing was great. I liked everything coming out of Odd Future at that
Yeah, I'm
point.
good on all that shit.
Me too.
Good on all
All right.
Our future's
It's a
exactly
book-
that odd. All right, let's go. So after Austin took care of MJF at Fear, Friedman's fellow horseman Dean Malenko stepped up to take Austin out. Anarchy general manager Alicia Fox made the match for proving ground. If Steve Austin wins, he gets a championship match against Ric Flair, but if Dean and Malenko wins, then Steve Austin can never challenge for the title so long as a member of the Horsemen is champion.
Did you say Dean and Malenko?
If I did, I didn't mean to.
Okay, it just threw me off for a
Yeah.
second.
You
No
should
name.
have just said yes and then played it off, and somehow there was a Dean.
It's
It should
Dean
be
and
Dean
Boris
by
Malenko?
Malenko. Like Ash
Yeah.
Byligans, Dean by Malenko.
Disgusting.
Dean Malenko split into two people.
At Proving Ground, Austin is able to beat Malenko to earn a title shot at Last Call in December. Flair and Austin have a classic back-and-forth match. Austin comes close to winning multiple times, but gets screwed in the end by the Horsemen every time. The finish of the match sees a Steve Austin hit Flair with a Stone Cold Stunner and covers him for a pin, but the referee is still down from an accidental bump shortly before the stunner. The crowd counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and Austin begins to look around for the referee. 7, 8, 9. Finally, Austin stands up and goes over to the referee to try to wake him up, to no avail. Austin turns around and gets blasted by the Global Championship as Dean Malenko smashes it into Austin's skull. The Gun Club hit 310 to Yuma with Austin's neck and back of the head landing on the Global Championship. MJF runs down the ramp, dragging a new referee with him. As the Horsemen clear the ring, MJF throws the new referee in the ring. Flair crawls over, getting one hand on Austin's chest, and the referee counts the pin 1, 2, 3, and Ric Flair retains the title. After the last call main event, the GPW.com crew kept rolling the cameras as Austin woke up in the ring and found out the Horseman had screwed him yet again. Austin is pissed. He starts arguing with GPW personnel in the ring. He delivers several stunners to various referees and security personnel. Austin heads up the ramp after a while, still being shooed up by GPW staff. GPW CEO Paul Heyman meets him at the top of the ramp. Austin and Heyman go back and forth verbally for a bit before Austin gives Heyman the double bird and a stunner. Austin heads backstage and the mayhem continues as he tears the backstage apart trying to find the Horseman. Austin is tearing through backstage employees and destroying the backstage area. Eventually, he crosses paths with Roddy Piper. Piper makes a smart mouth comment to Austin, and Austin gets in his face to confront him. After a few minutes of trash talk back and forth, Austin punches Piper in the jaw, and the two men start brawling. Eventually, security and agents swarm and separate the two, escorting both from the building. The next week on Anarchy, Roddy Piper is in the ring for a promo. Piper talks about his upcoming All-for-One qualifier. Next week on Justice, Piper takes a few subliminal shots at Austin, indirectly referencing the brawl from last call. Hold on 1 second. I think I wrote this. Okay. He takes some shots of the crowd before talking about the All-for-One qualifier he has next week on Justice. After I smack the back fat off of Otis at Justice, I'm going to Civil War. I'm surviving the All-for-One match, and I'm going on to King of the World to take that global championship home. Now I know what you're thinking. Rod, what about the rest of the competition? I don't care who the competition is. I'll walk through fire. Hell, I might even cut the head off a rattlesnake if it gets in my way again. No matter who's in my path, they'll have to pay the piper. Backstage, Austin confronts Piper. Piper, you know old Stone Cold was sitting in the back having a beer. Then I had another beer. Then another. Then when I was just about to crack open another cold one, I thought I heard you say something. Something about cutting the head off a rattlesnake. So I just wanted to know exactly what you mean by that. Austin is nose to nose with Piper, and neither man is backing down or breaking eye contact. Well, Austin, I thought what I said was pretty simple, but I should have known as a dumb Texas redneck like yourself just wouldn't have the brain cells to understand what I was implying. So let me make this crystal clear. It's just an expression. Just a figure of speech. I'm just locked in, Austin. Hey, I heard you have a qualifier on Justice next week, too. Good luck. Hopefully we'll see each other in the All-for-One match. Piper extends his hand for a handshake, but Austin doesn't break his death stare. Piper's smile slowly melts from his face. The tensions rise, but before either man can strike, Alicia Fox appears and has the security separate them, as she says she's not having a redo of this past weekend. The next week on Anarchy, Austin is in the ring for a promo. At last call, old Stone Cold got screwed. I had Flair beat. Watch the tape. A clip of Austin having Flair pinned plays on the Globotron while Austin counts to 10, showing he had Flair beat. Now, Stone Cold ain't gonna come out here bitching and moaning about what he deserves and what he got stolen from him. No. I'm looking ahead because Ric Flair, you can run, you can hide, and you can use every trick in the book, but you're only delaying the inevitable. Once I beat Lashley on Thursday, then go on to Civil War and win the All-for-One match, I'm gonna open a can of whoop-ass on Ric Flair and the Horseman at King of the World, and that's the bottom line, cause Stone Cold said so. The next week on Justice, Roddy Piper crosses paths with his All-for-One qualifier opponent, Otis. Piper makes some smart-mouthed insults about Otis's weight and status amongst the roster. Otis keeps his cool and doesn't take the bait. Piper pokes him in the gut and imitates the Pillsbury Doughboy before walking away. Later in the match, Roddy Piper and Otis later in the night, Roddy Piper and Otis have their one-on-one match to see who will move on to the All-for-One match. The match is a lot closer than many believed it would be, with a 60-40 split in terms of control, with the edge going to Piper. The match comes to a conclusion when Piper smells blood in the water. After a chop block, Piper sizes Otis up. Piper leaps on the back of Otis the second the big man reaches his feet and locks in the sleeper hold. Otis drops to one knee. He's fighting, but his energy is waning. Otis drops to a second knee. It looks like it's all over as Otis folds over, placing one palm on the mat. Just as it looks like it's all over, Otis starts hawking up. Otis is able to work his way to his feet before breaking out of the sleeper hold and blasting Piper with a pop-up power slam. Otis follows up with a running splash and is able to get the victory with a pinfall to advance to the All-for-One match. Later in the night, for the main event, Stone Cold Steve Austin goes one-on-one with Lashley. Lashley goes for a spear, but Austin dodges, and Lashley takes out the referee by accident instead. As Lashley gets back up, he turns straight into a big kick to the gut, followed by a Stone Cold Stunner from Austin. Austin goes for the pin, but just like at last call, the crowd goes counts past 3, all the way to 10, but the referee is down and out. Austin gets up to try and wake up the referee, but the ref just barely stirs. Austin turns around and gets blindsided by a right hand with brass knuckles from Piper. Piper then locks in the sleeper hold and chokes Austin to sleep before rolling out of the ring. Lashley and the referee both slowly rise to their feet, and Lashley capitalizes, nailing Austin with a Dominator for the pin and the win. That weekend, TMZ breaks the story that Steve Austin has been arrested on the charges of trespassing, breaking and entering, as well as assault, as Austin broke into the home of Roddy Piper and brawled with him in front of his wife and kids, as well as brawling with multiple sheriff's deputies as they tried to arrest him. GPW CEO Paul Heyman releases a video on GPW.com, as well as all of GPW's social media accounts. Heyman says that he can't have this anymore. Austin went on a rampage at last call, damaging equipment, inciting fear in many production and office employees, and incurring multiple fines for damages to the arena, and then brawling with Piper. Piper interferes in one of the most important matches of the month and costs Austin a chance at the all-for-one match. To now, Austin is committing home invasions and getting arrested outside of his time here at GPW. Heyman says if Blanchard and Fox can't keep their roster under control, he will. Paul Heyman books Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Roddy Piper in the main event of Anarchy this week. On Anarchy, it's almost time for the main event, but we see Piper backstage driving a forklift. Piper drives the forklift into the door of Steve Austin's dressing room, barricading the Rattlesnake in. When it's time for the main event, Piper makes his way to the ring, but Austin doesn't make his entrance. Samantha Irvin gets instruction from the referee that Austin has to the count of 10 to make his entrance, or Piper will win by forfeit. The Globaltron shows Austin trying to break out of the locker room by any means necessary as the referee makes his count. Once the referee gets to 9, Shark Boy's music hits, and he makes his way to the stage. Shark Boy says that if Austin can't get his revenge on Piper, Shark Boy will get it for him, offering himself up as a substitute for Austin. Piper and Shark Boy start the match, and Piper quickly gets the upper hand. Piper is torturing Shark Boy in this match. He Irish whips him into the barricade and the steel steps. Piper hits a pile driver on the hardest part of the ring, the apron. Piper continues his assault on Shark Boy, handcuffing both of Shark Boy's hands to the top rope before just throttling him with big right hands to the skull. Piper rips part of Shark Boy's mask away and busts him open. The camera goes backstage, and we see Austin still trying to break out while watching the assault on TV. Finally, Austin finds a bat in one of the lockers and starts swinging it into the door repeatedly, eventually breaking a hole through the door. Austin tears the door down and climbs out of the dressing room. Austin sees a production staff member driving on a four-wheeler backstage. He throws the employee off the four-wheeler and drives it towards the arena. Austin's music hits, and Austin drives down the ramp to the ring. Piper wastes no time rolling out of the ring and escaping through the crowd. The show ends with Austin checking on a broken and bloody Shark Boy. Later that weekend, TMZ releases another headline about Austin, this time reporting that Steve Austin's wife has quietly filed for divorce, citing her reasons as being infidelity and irreconcilable differences. The go-home episode of Anarchy sees Austin and Piper have one last meeting, although via split screen, as they are both at their homes instead of in the arena, to ensure that the two of them don't get physical before their match at Civil War. Austin tells Piper he's going to pay for what he's done to not only Stone Cold, but also to Shark Boy. Piper tells Austin he still doesn't understand. Austin, you walk around here and you expect everyone to be afraid of you. But I'm not afraid of you, Austin. You seem to believe yourself to be entitled to whatever your heart desires, but that's not true. Yeah, you got screwed. Big deal. You go to the back of the line just like anybody else. But no, since it's Stone Cold Steve Austin, you get to go on a rampage and throw a tantrum because you didn't get your way. You get to intimidate defenseless staff. You get to assault me backstage. But even worse, you broke into my home and assaulted me in front of my wife and children. Yeah, Austin, I play a bad guy on TV, but you? Austin, you're a bad guy in real life. Ask any of your wives. You're a beater and a cheater. You're selfish, egotistical, violent, alcoholic psychopath who doesn't know the meaning of the word no. You said it yourself, Steve. You're not winning any Father of the Year awards either. Saturday night at Civil War, you're going to realize there's no more handouts. There's no more free passes. I'm going to do what somebody should have done a long time ago, and I'm going to beat some respect into you once and for all. Austin chuckles to himself before replying, Piper, you sure know how to twist some stuff around to fit your narrative. Do I have some anger issues and some shortcomings I need to work on? Sure. Have I taken things too far in the past? Sure. I'm no saint, but my past is as checkered as the next guy's. I'm not going to try to convince you or anyone else that I'm some great guy that they should be cheering for. What I can say is, I've never shied away from a fight. I've never had to barricade a man in a locker room to prevent him from stomping a mud hole in my ass and walking it dry. He never had to handcuff a man 50 pounds lighter than me to whoop his ass either. And I damn sure ain't never ran from a man looking for a fight. Now, you can't say the same. I don't give a damn what you think about me, Piper. I see you staring at me with those beady little eyes, and I can't stop thinking about what you did to Shark Boy last week. And I got half a mind to rip your head off your shoulders and piss down your neck. I got half a mind to whoop you from post to post Saturday night. I don't know a lot of things, Piper, but one thing I know for sure is, at Civil War, you're getting an old-fashioned Texas ass whooping from the Texas Rattlesnake, and that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. All right, time for the match. I'm just doing spots. All right. So we get a Luthez press followed by multiple punches from Austin the Piper. Austin drags Piper to the corner and hits a mudhole stomp on Piper. Piper rakes the eyes of Austin and then hits him with a bulldog. Piper follows up with a running high knee strike, followed by a belly to back suplex, Austin hits a pointed elbow drop off the second rope to Piper. And then eventually hits him with a leapfrog body guillotine, with Piper resting his throat on top of a steel chair. So do you know what that is? Where he runs and he jumps over him and he's like sitting like a 619 position and he like lands on him with his ass on the back of his head, but instead of it on the rope.
Body avalanche, I think.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that.
But instead of it just being the middle rope, he's also got a chair on his throat. Piper hits Austin's on the apron, and Piper hits a running through the ropes crossbody, sending both men crashing to the floor. Austin hits Piper with a stun gun, which is a flapjack dropped into a hangman onto the barricade. Piper hits Austin with a pile driver onto the exposed concrete. Piper wraps his hand in a steel chain and hits multiple jabs to Austin, followed by a forearm smash with the chain-wrapped arm. Piper hits a vertical suplex onto a ladder that's positioned between the apron and the barricade to Austin. Austin hits a Texas pile driver onto a steel chair to Piper. Austin nails Piper with a spine buster onto the exposed concrete floor. Piper low blows Austin and follows up with a power slam onto the steel steps. Austin hits Piper with a vertical suplex off the apron onto the exposed concrete floor. Piper hits Austin with a Widowmaker, which is inverted Death Valley driver, off the top rope for a near fall. Austin hits a superplex through a table to Piper for a near fall. Piper locks in the sleeper hold on Austin. The referee lifts Austin's arms and it drops. He lifts it a second time and again it falls. He lifts Austin's arm one last time, but halfway down it stops. Austin starts fighting it on the grip of Piper, finally breaking it free. Austin spins around and hits a boot to the midsection, followed by a Stone Cold Stunner for the pin and the win. That's it.
All right. I'm going to start with my comments, and then I'll come up with the number as I go.
Okay.
I liked the promos quite a bit. I think this is what you'd expect out of an Austin Piper match, where like the promos are going to be fire and the ring work depending on your preference, isn't going to be the best. We all know that that's not like my preference in ring style.
Yeah.
But I think you did as well as one could do with it. I think you handled the Austin wife beater promo like pretty well, though. I think that if anybody tries it again in any future book it verses, it's kind of like with Scott Hall and the alcohol.
That's immediately what I was thinking when he did it.
Yeah, it's like we can't do that one again. We can't bring up Stone Cold beating his wives again. We can't bring up Scott Hall's alcohol or Jeff Hardy's drugs. We just got to leave him alone after one book it verse. That's our limit.
To be fair, I wouldn't have put that line in there, but the wheel made Austin cheat on his wife, so I didn't have a choice.
Better that you know what? I'm going to give you a stipend for incorporating the wheel into your storyline. I fuck with that.
Wait, whoa! How is he getting a stipend for doing his job?
Right, exactly. That's the assignment.
Like
and y'all haters, shut the fuck up and let John talk. Okay.
I like how he did it.
Here's a stipend for doing the thing you're supposed to do.
Hey,
so I'm being paid for doing my job.
Got it. Don't you get stipends for doing what you're supposed to do every fucking year? You get a bonus just for chilling.
No, for the extra shit. He didn't do anything extra.
Yeah, right.
He made.
I performed well.
Disadvantage into
it's a good performance bonus.
So,
some white people sticking together shit.
I was just gonna give you a 4. I'm gonna give you 425. In fact, make that 427 because fuck Damone.
All right. 427.
You got 2 extra pennies.
Who wants to go next?
I do. So I have a question.
I got an answer.
You said that Austin losing the match meant that he couldn't get a title shot as long as Flair or a member of the Four Horsemen was...
If he lost against Dean Malenko, he couldn't get a title shot.
Okay, I missed. Okay,
yeah, that was it was basically a win-win. So if Dean Malenko wins, Austin's out of the title picture so long as there's a Horseman with the belt. But if Austin wins, he gets his rematch against Ric Flair.
Okay, I scrambled it in my head because in my head I had it as if he lost to Flair again, he never got a title shot, and then you had him in a title shot tournament. Tournament, but okay, that makes sense. So with that in mind, I'm going to give you a 5. I like the story a lot. The promos were great, and they sound like Piper and Stone Cold promos. And the in ring was really good, especially for their style. They're gonna it's gonna be a lot of brawling and using weapons and stuff, and that's what I want in a Piper versus Stone Cold match. So, yeah. Still fun.
I tried to incorporate some high spots that I thought they could like realistically do, like the through the ropes crossbody or the Death Valley driver off the top rope.
I knew when you had mentioned before you were going to use the Stone Cold character, but his Stunning Steve ring ability.
Yeah, I mean, when I write matches, they can do any moves they've ever done. Like that's the thing, and also like
exactly how it is. I'm not going to put that shit on a timeline.
Yeah, and also they can. A lot of times, I'll make them do like references to past like tag team partners or like the Death Valley driver is Sean O'Hare's finish. So that's why I had Piper do that. So I'll incorporate like their like other people's moves if I think that wrestler can do it realistically. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna have Piper do a 450, but I think he can do a Death Valley driver off the top rope.
Yeah. In pre neck injury, Stone or Austin was great in ring.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm personally going with a 4.25. I wasn't really a fan of the beat your wife thing. I get you were doing that, but I still wasn't a fan of the.
Oh no, I get it. He did have a choice. He didn't have to beat her, right?
Yeah. I didn't expect that the one word of the promo to get this much like acknowledgement, but fair enough. Because all he said was you're a cheater and a beater. That was the only time he referenced.
Oh, and I also like that you had a felony committed. Even though it was
said ask
face,
any of your wives, to be fair.
You said what?
You also said ask any of your wives, to be fair.
Yeah,
So-
That's okay. Fair enough.
You had a couple lines. You had a couple.
Asking if your wives was supposed to be more so towards the cheating thing, but I see where that was taken, how it was taken.
Yeah, to be like, you cheat and beat. Ask your wife. Like, oh, so you both.
That's fair. That's fair criticism.
But yeah, it did immediately make me think of Scott Hall. I was literally thinking that. And I didn't want to bring it up, but I was like, it's Scott Hall all over here. But yeah, I gave it a 4.25. This is realistically the best you could do with a Roddy Piper and Stone Cold match. So I get it. So 4.25 for me.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go with a straight 4. I did like it. I like the promos. Honestly, I felt like it was because it was what we kind of expected. It's kind of what I expected. So, I mean, I felt like a 4 was fair.
Okay.
Yeah, and I like the Shark Boy getting his ass whooped thing. Like, not just because I don't really like Shark Boy like that, but I just like the.
Wait, you don't fuck with Shark Boy?
Not really.
Whoa, Shark Boy slander will not be tolerated.
That's the fishing line.
Get a shell, yeah.
Yeah, that shit's stupid.
Shell,
but
yeah.
I like what you did there to where it's like he's beating somebody who pretty much
Fish Market
emulates
Street
that
Fight is
style.
an all-time match. We're gonna put some respect on that right now.
I am not. I bet I don't.
You need to
Put the
open up a
fucking
can of
O on the
clam.
fishing
All right.
line
What
and
did
caught
what
Bubba
did
Ray
you say
Dudley.
though, Kenny? You liked it because what? They're talking over you, so I didn't hear anything you said.
Yeah, so I said I like the fact that he beat somebody who kind of emulated his style.
Yeah.
So that way, kind of like, this is what I'm gonna do to you.
Yep.
So I was a big fan of that portion. That was where most of the grade came from. I did like that portion of the storyline more than anything.
Fair enough. All right. So we're good to move on now.
Yeah.
All right. All right, so for weeks we've been seeing a series of vignettes depicting a bank heist, but never showing the perpetrators. The vignettes have a vintage spy feel to them with the graphics, fonts, and background music matching the aesthetic. The vignettes also have a grainy filter over them as well. The first vignette shows the legs of two men as they load duffel bags into the trunk of a car. The two men shut the trunk of the car, revealing it to be a Rolls Royce. We see the legs of the two men walk to the front of the car, get in, and peel out. The second vignette sees the Rolls Royce pull up in front of a very large building. The camera, I don't know what I was supposed to say. The camera shows us the inside of the car, seeing the two men from the neck down only. The driver is wearing a white tuxedo with black lapels, a black button down, and a black bow tie. The passenger is wearing a black suit with white pinstripes, a white button down with the top two buttons undone, and a gold chain necklace. The vignette fades to black before we hear a familiar cackling and the vignette ends. The third vignette begins with a shot of the car in front of the big building from the previous vignette. We see the two men exit the vehicle and grab two bats from the trunk of the car. Then we see the two men head up the steps, still only seeing them from the back and neck down only. The fourth vignette sees the two men, still shot from the back and neck down only, walking through what looks to be a bank. The two of them are cutting through security guards, taking them out with the bats as they march forward. The fifth and final vignette airs on the Civil War broadcast. The vignette sees the two men step in front of a large vault door. We see the two men shake hands, but still don't see their faces. Then the screen flashes black and returns with the vault door again, and the revenue appears written across the vault door. The screen flashes black again, and when it returns, we see Ted DiBiase and Alberto Del Rio standing on a mountain of cash, and the vignette ends with the revenues logo on screen with "Coming Soon" written underneath.
I'm gonna give this a solid 3.5. Like it gives the gist of what their gimmick is and what they're doing, but it's not anything like fantastic. Like,
Yeah,
and that's a fucking toxic ass tag team.
I'm feeling the same. You can put me down for a straight 3.
He gave me a 3.5, and you're going to say, I'm feeling the same, and give me a 50
I thought he
cents
said,
less.
I only heard 3, so fuck you. So 3.5 is fine. But for that argument, no, it's fine.
Hey, Mike's on it tonight.
Well,
Put his
I
mic
was at a 3.
His high
All
foot. I actually had a 3 too. It was perfect mid.
All right, cool.
Yeah, never say those words again, John.
What high
pussy.
Mike pussy?
Yes, yeah, don't no. No.
The giraffe.
I'm about to kick you out.
Oh, sorry. Is he gonna put his D Mussy into that?
Hey, y'all want to hit an ad before we go to the main event?
Sure, here we
Wow.
go.
That's been a while.
Or D Mussy?
Are you tired? Tired of those other energy drinks hitting you with a short burst of jittery energy, followed by a crash that leaves you with less energy than you had before? Ray's energy drinks are specifically formulated to get you going without making you jittery and keeps you from crashing. With 0 sugars, 0 calories, and better caffeine than a cup of coffee, Ray's energy drinks are the #1 growing energy drink on the market. With flavors like Baja Lime, Sour Gummy Worm, Guava Mango, and Strawberry Colada, Ray's has some of the best tasting energy drinks available. You can get a case of Ray's right now by going to repsports.com, and you can plug in code T1THREE when you check out to take 15% off of your next order. It's promo code T13 for 15% off of your next order of better, tastier energy.
Do you need another one?
Yeah, go ahead. I don't need it. I'm just trying to make the show last a little longer. But go ahead and hit the second one.
Your body and the bodies you're loving deserve nothing but the best. Organic Lovin' is the only adult subscription box that includes eco-friendly body products, from body-safe adult toys to sex-positive books and erotic seminars. Organic Lovin's online store has everything you and your partner, or partners, could ever need to heat things up. And right now, your friends at T13 want to take 10% off of your next order. Just go to organiclovin.com and use promo code T1THREE like the sound the bed makes when you check out. Organic Lovin'. Love organically, purely, deeply, boldly.
Damn, speaking of organic loving, this is like Travis trying to pinch himself in the leg to get more strokes in.
What?
He's trying to make himself last longer.
The fact that you know
I'm on antidepressants, so I last as long as I need to.
the fact that you know that trick is insane.
Sorry, I've lived real life, Damone.
I
We
feel
out
like
here.
is that the same Reddit you were on for your potato salad? And
No, that was not on the John Cena subreddit. Fuck. I only gooned a fucking Dolph Ziggler. Shut up.
This is wild.
it took a wild turn.
Ain't nothing wrong with a short show, Travis. Nothing wrong with that.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Well,
I say y'all gonna be.
short
I'm
show.
telling you right now. Towards my third and fourth shows, y'all are gonna be complaining that they're too long. So just take
I
it
will
while you got
complain.
it.
That's why I say
Take
nothing wrong
it
with
while you got it.
Well, it's the short show.
Yeah.
yeah, on Travis's
Yeah,
fourth
hey.
show, I'm going to be throwing a fit trying to talk to the manager.
That's
Like, why is this train stalling?
So on the Monday after last call, the World Wrestling Association and Global Pro Wrestling released a joint announcement. At Civil War, for the first time ever, 10 men will compete in the first ever all-for-one match for a chance at either the GPW Global Championship or the WWA World Heavyweight Championship at King of the World. The all-for-one match is a unique hybrid of match types you've seen in the past, but is an all original in its presentation. The match begins as a 5-on-5 elimination tag team match, but everything changes once only 4 men remain. The match becomes an elimination-style fatal 4-way match, and the winner is the sole survivor of the match. The entrance will be decided by a number of qualifier matches. Excuse me. These matches will be Jamie Noble versus Kushida, The Rock versus William Regal, The Rude Ones versus the Samoan SWAT team, Chris Jericho versus Ricochet, the Motor City Machine Guns versus the Dudley Boys, Diamond Dallas Page versus Goldberg, Roddy Piper versus Otis, and Bobby Lashley versus Steve Austin. The first week on Anarchy, we get the first of the qualifier matches. Jamie Noble faces off against Kushida in a fast-paced matchup. Towards the end of the match, Jamie Noble's valet and old lady, as he describes her, ODB, hands Jamie Noble a slingshot. Noble fumbles with the slingshot and tries to aim it, but the referee sees him. The referee begins reprimanding him in the corner, and Noble and the ref struggle for the slingshot. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ring, As Kushida is beginning to pull himself to his feet using the ropes, ODB reaches up and grabs Kushida's head, pulling him through the bottom and middle ropes and smothering him in her breasts. Kushida kicks his feet rapidly, but the kicks slowly die down until he
should have
still.
been me.
ODB tosses Kushida back into the ring, and at that exact moment, Noble relinquishes the slingshot and rushes over to Kushida. Noble scales up to the top rope and nails Kushida with a diving leg drop for the pin and the win. On GPW.com, after the match, Jamie Noble cuts a promo with ODB telling the world that he is one step closer to winning the one-for-all match and going one-on-one with Mitch Flair for the Planet's title. He tells ODB that when he wins the Planet's title, he's going to get her a new set of puppies, and he don't mean pit bulls. Later that night,
who was Mitch Flair? Who was that?
That's the Planet's champion right now.
Who is that? Is that
Mitch
you made
Flair.
him up?
Jamie Noble's gimmick is he calls everybody the wrong name.
Oh,
that's part of his
okay.
thing.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I was like, who?
And it's the global title, not the Planet's title. He's just an idiot. He called it the one for all match, not the all for one match. Like he's a dumbass. Like, later that
He's
night,
our
we
dumbass.
Later that night, we see The Rock go one-on-one with William Regal. The two have an epic main event match with tons of false finishes. In the end, The Rock emerged victorious after hitting Regal with the People's Elbow for the pin and the win. After the show goes off the air, The Rock cuts a promo for the crowd. He asks if the crowd wants to see Ric Flair go one-on-one with the Great One, to which the crowd responds with raucous cheers. That week on Justice, the qualifier matches continue. The Rude Ones face off against the Samoan SWAT team, Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso. It's a hard-hitting affair that ends after Jimmy Uso falls to the Rudeplex for the pin and the win.
Stone Cold's not involved in this hard-hitting affair.
He's not.
You go.
That was a good one, though.
Clever.
I got both of them, the cheater and the beater.
So,
Both all in one. GPW.com catches up with the Rude Ones as they celebrate their victory backstage. The interviewer asks how the two of them can coexist within the all-for-one match once they are forced to face each other. They say that they know what they're getting into. They have a game plan. Stick together until the bitter end, and when it's just the two of them, let the best Rude win. Ricochet and Chris Jericho face off in the main event of Justice that week. The two of them put on a rapid-paced cruiserweight classic full of false finishes and one-upmanship. The match comes crashing to an end when Ricochet scales the ring post to the top rope, but Jericho scrambles to his feet and chases after him. After a bit of a struggle on the top rope, Jericho leaps off and drags Ricochet with him, nailing Ricochet with an avalanche codebreaker off the top rope to secure the victory. The next week on Anarchy, we get the Motor City Machine Guns against the Dudley Boys in a tag team classic. The two teams put on one of their finest performances against one another. The match comes to an end when MCMG nails D-Von with Made in Detroit for the pin and the win. Later in the night, we see Chris Jericho and the Motor City Machine Guns backstage discussing game plans when we hear a familiar voice. Hey, now listen up! Jamie Noble and ODB walk into frame, and the three other guys throw their hands up and roll their eyes. Now, as the leader of this here team, I don't want to hear no backsassing, I don't want no belly aching, you got it? We need focus, we need fury, we need... And, before he can finish his sentence, Jericho interrupts him. Whoa, calm down a minute there, Junior. You are not our leader. You're not in charge. Let's get that out of the way right now. All right, calm down. Don't get your hockey shorts in a bunch. No need to apologize. I know y'all from Mexico North get a little snippy if you don't get your morning pancakes. We'll revisit this one after breakfast tomorrow. That night's main event sees Diamond Dallas Page go one-on-one with Goldberg. The match is a pretty typical main event match. The finish comes after Goldberg turns Page inside out with a spear. Goldberg hoists Page up for a jackhammer, but DDP reverses it out of nowhere, putting Goldberg down with a diamond cutter. DDP covers Goldberg for the pin and the win. After the match, DDP tells GPW.com reporters that he's going to go from People's Champion to Global Champion. The next week on Justice, Roddy Piper crosses paths with his all-for-one qualifier opponent Otis. Piper makes some smart mouth insults about Otis's weight and status amongst the roster, but Otis keeps his cool and doesn't take the bait. Piper pokes him in the gut and imitates the Pillsbury Doughboy. I'm going to skip or fast forward through this a little bit, but obviously Otis wins the match, and then Lashley beats Austin. It's word for word the same thing. as the last one.
We got the clip notes. I like it.
Yep. The next episode of Anarchy is opened up by The Rock, making his way to the ring. The Rock grabs a microphone and begins his promo. Finally! Before The Rock can get any further in his promo, DDP's music hits and Page makes his way to the ring. DDP and The Rock have a jovial but still intense back and forth about who the real People's Champion is. As tensions begin to rise between the babyfaces, Chris Jericho and Bobby Lashley interrupt. The four men go back and forth on the mic, eventually leading to The Rock making a challenge for a tag team match for the main event. Later in the night, we see Jamie Noble confronting Otis backstage. The two go back and forth for a moment until the Motor City Machine Guns come from out of nowhere and attack Otis from behind. The three heels pounce on Otis, laying waste to him until the Rude Ones make the save, chasing off the heels in the process. In the main event, we see The Rock and DDP go up against Chris Jericho and Bobby Lashley. It's a back-and-forth match, but the match ends with a diamond cutter from Diamond Dallas Page, catching Jericho mid-line salt for the pin and the win. On Justice that week, Jamie Noble and the Motor City Machine Guns go up against Otis and the Rude Ones in a trios match. The match comes to an end when ODB attacks Lizzie Rude on the outside, and Alex Shelley rolls Rick Rude up with a schoolboy during the distraction. 1 week before Civil War, Chris Sabin announces that he has decided to take a short notice fight against Kelvin Gastelum at UFC 403 and will be forced to withdraw from the All for One match. On Anarchy, we see the heel chastising Alex Shelley over Chris Sabin, leaving the team high and dry. Everyone is furious until Jamie Noble says, as the leader of the team, he will find them a fifth partner. Throughout the night, we see Jamie Noble asking various people to join the team. He starts with ODB, but she says she doesn't think the powers that be will allow her to compete against the men. He then moves on to asking production staff members. He finds backstage. He asks referees, concession stand employees, and even CM Punk's dog Larry, but to no avail. The show ends with Noble telling his team to still not to worry. He's going to hit the babyface team with the element of surprise. He just has to figure out which old phone of his has the Gobbledygooker's phone number. The go-home episode of Justice sees Tully Blanchard inform the heels that he has found a replacement for Chris Sabin, and he is on his way to Justice now. Jamie Noble interjects, "See, fellers, I done told you I'd replace that yellow-bellied squealer Chip Bacon. Now, what kind of leader would I be if I didn't follow through on what I say?" The main event sees Bobby Lashley go one-on-one with The Rock. The two have a great back-and-forth match, but the match devolves into a pull-apart brawl when both teams fill the ring and start scrapping. As the credits begin to show on screen during the brawl, the camera flashes to Tully Blanchard's office. We see Blanchard smiling as he watches a hand sign a paper and then close a folder that has All for One written on the cover. The camera pans up and reveals John Cena in a suit placing a pen into his breast pocket and then shaking hands with Tully Blanchard. All right, time for the match. Match is a little long. Not gonna lie to y'all. So, as soon as the bell rings, John Cena steps off the apron and goes to the timekeeper's area and has a seat, telling his team that he will enter the match when it becomes a fatal four-way. Otis hits a caterpillar elbow drop on Jamie Noble. A spear from Bobby Lashley cuts Otis in half. Lashley nails Otis with a delayed vertical suplex, followed by a pin, eliminating Otis from the match. Robert Roode enters the match, nailing Lashley with a double R spine buster. Roode sizes Lashley up and puts him down with a glorious DDT for a 2 count. Lashley tags in Chris Jericho, and Jericho hits Roode with a springboard drop kick. He follows up with a lion salt. Robert Roode answers back with a glorious bomb for a near fall. Jericho hits Roode with a code breaker for the pin and the win, eliminating Robert Roode. Rick Rude enters the match and hits Jericho with a jumping pile driver. Jericho locks in the walls of Jericho, almost making Rude tap, but he is able to overpower Jericho. Rude hits Jericho with a belly-to-back superplex. Rude pulls Jericho to his feet, nails him with a Rude Awakening for the pin, eliminating Chris Jericho. Alex Shelley enters the match and blasts Rick Rude with a double knee backbreaker from the second rope. Shelley flies up to the top rope before smashing Rude with a frog splash for the pin, putting Rude away. We're down to 6 competitors. Alex Shelley, John Cena, Jamie Noble, and Bobby Lashley remain on one team, and the People's Champs, The Rock and Diamond Dallas Page, remain on the other. DDP enters the match and eats a springboard single knee facebreaker from Shelley immediately. Alex Shelley goes for an automatic midnight, which is an over-the-shoulder belly-to-back pile driver, but DDP reverses it into a diamond cutter for a shocking pin. Alex Shelley has been eliminated. Bobby Lashley enters the match now and starts wailing on DDP with lefts and rights, pummeling him into the mat. Lashley locks the hurt lock on DDP while he is face down on the mat and snatches Page's body from the mat all the way into the air and begins to ragdoll him back and forth. The Rock comes from behind and blasts Bobby Lashley in the back of the head with a forearm to break the hold. The Rock drags DDP to the corner and then quickly tags himself in. Rock rushes in with a jumping clothesline, knocking Lashley off his feet. A little later, Lashley has regained momentum and goes to put the hurt lock on Rock, but the Rock reverses it into a Rock bottom. 1, 2, 3. Bobby Lashley is eliminated. So we have now entered into the second portion of the match, an elimination-style fatal four-way, pitting The Rock against John Cena, Jamie Noble, and Diamond Dallas Page. The last man standing will receive a world title opportunity at King of the World. Cena, Noble, and Page enter the ring, and the four men size each other up. Cena is the freshest in the ring, as he did not participate at all in the 5-on-5 elimination tag portion of the match. Cena drops under the bottom rope and tells the other three to fight it out amongst themselves, and whoever is left can face him in the end. DDP says that isn't going to work like that, hitting a suicide slingshot crossbody on Cena. We then get hold on. Okay, so we get a reverse pile driver from Noble to The Rock. We get a diving leg drop from the top rope, followed immediately by pay dirt, which is a single underhook DDT from Jamie Noble to The Rock for a near fall. Back on the outside, DDP hits a diamond bomb, which is a spinning power bomb, onto the concrete floor to John Cena. Later on in the match, The Rock is down on the outside. Jamie Noble is laid out on the apron, and Page and Cena are throwing stiff right hands at each other on the top rope. DDP gets the upper hand and is able to fight off Cena, knocking him up from the top rope. Page looks punch drunk as he tries to climb off the top turnbuckle, but out of nowhere, Jamie Noble leaps to the top rope, hooks an arm, and flings DDP to the off the top rope with a superplex. Sorry. Noble scrambles over, hooks both legs, folding DDP in half. 1, 2, 3. Diamond Dallas Page is eliminated. Jamie Noble stands up and is immediately met by John Cena, who quickly hoists him up for an attitude adjustment for the pin. Cena and Rock are the only ones who remain. The two come to the center of the ring, nose to nose, eye to eye. The two men begin trading shots back and forth. Rock gets the upper hand, and Cena drops to a knee. Rock Irish whips Cena into the ropes and hits a snap overhead belly-to-belly suplex to Cena. Rock follows up with a flowing snap DDT, followed by a kip-up. Later in the match, Cena hits a diving crossbody. John Cena hits Kill Switch, which is a spin-out powerbomb for a near fall. Both men are on the top rope later in the match, and Rock has Cena on his shoulders, looking for a Super Samoan drop, but Cena is fighting back. Cena blasts the side of the Rock's skulls with elbows before making Rock's core base crumble on the top rope. Cena pushes himself onto the shoulders of the Brahma Bull and hits a super reverse Hurricane Rana. Cena crawls over to Rock, barely able to get a single hand on his chest for the cover. These guys have nothing left to give. This is it. 1, 2. The Rock kicks out just before 3, and John Cena loses his mind. Eyes as big as dinner plates, John Cena cannot believe this. Cena pushes himself to his feet and sizes up The Rock, looking like a madman. The Rock turns around, and Cena throws him on his shoulders for an attitude adjustment. The Rock was ready for this and drops behind Cena and pushes him into the ropes. The Rock catches Cena on the rebound for a spine buster, setting up the People's Elbow. The Rock hits John Cena with a People's Elbow for the pin and the win.
Not the eyes as big as dinner plate.
That was wild.
I'm gonna start this one off. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be the hater.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. All right. I did not like the story at all, but I did like the match.
Okay.
I did. So I'm just saying, I'm gonna be the hater. So I personally gave it a 2.25.
Woo. All right.
Yeah, wasn't really a fan of the story, but I did like the match. I really did like the match.
So I like the match. I love a convoluted match type.
It was very convoluted, but he did make it work.
Thank you.
Yeah. I love those. But the wrong person won. I cared the least. The Rock was in I care the least amount about in this match and didn't really need to win it. I would have rather either Jamie Noble win it on some dumb shit or DDP win it. Someone else win it, not The Rock.
Okay.
Or even Cena win it because you gave Cena a new kind of character. So, like I said, The Rock was like I don't want him to win.
So in my defense, both of my world champions are heels. So I wouldn't really book a heel to.
Well, you could have done DDP.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm just saying Cena and Jamie Noble were never options.
Okay. Or even if you did the Rude, like you had it come down to the Rude ones or something, like they were the final two. I would have preferred
Honestly,
over The Rock.
this match plants a lot of seeds going forward.
That's what I figured. Like I figured you were planting seeds.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it 3.5.
I'll take it.
The competitor in me is going to come out for a moment. I don't think it's going to affect my score. But all I'm going to say is people were a lot less forgiving to me when I had the wrong man win a multi-man match. That said, I do agree with Damon's sentiment that The Rock was one of the worst options to have win it. I was on the Jamie Noble train. Every time you book him, I think that's some of your best material. And I think that it's time that you really just went all in on Jamie Noble. But I do agree. I'd like a convoluted match type. The story was very roller coaster for me. Like it has ups and downs. I liked Jamie Noble's stuff. I thought DDP was cool. I thought The Rock and Cena were eh.
Well, Cena didn't really do anything. He just signed a contract.
Yeah.
That was all his. That was his entire contribution.
Yeah.
Also, the reason I did the Chris Sabin thing is because the fucking wheel made him leave to start an MMA career. So he had to miss a pay-per-view.
And then he did one MMA fight, then went to PPW. I don't want to. I'm not gonna hate as hard as Kenny, but I am gonna hate a little bit. I'm gonna give this a 275.
Okay. Can't win them all.
I'm right around a 3. I'm just gonna repeat what they said.
The only thing you were missing.
I'm gonna start next episode. I'm making Mike grade first, so I can actually get feedback from him.
That's fine. We'll be waiting a while.
That's fine. We'll just wait here. You offered no contribution at all.
I had nothing to tell you. They already told you everything I was going to say.
Then you can go first. You can go first.
Somebody please have music ready for when this happens. So Damone, we need like a Jeopardy music button or
Yeah,
like an off Jeopardy music
We're
button.
gonna be here for a while.
There's no point in Mike grading at all because there's no.
Actually,
feedback
I've given some feedback this episode, but fuck me, right?
Have you?
I have. I absolutely did.
Hey, I love when the male manipulators fight.
Travis, the only thing you were missing from your convoluted match type was a point system.
True. It was too much.
Yeah, you needed a point system or a penalty box.
Oh, fuck.
I was going to say
we need a match with all those things.
Listen, I'm bringing back the Iron Survivor match next. What'd you call it?
Damone,
so you will get a penalty box.
For me
Isn't
to
there a
write
scoring
the
system
most.
in that too?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, so that is what it is. That's the Iron Survivor.
I want to write the most convoluted match ever now, just because of Damone.
So
I'm
I
gonna
took
make it my goal.
10.
I didn't invent this match type technically, because the TNA pay-per-view Kenny and I went to, they did an 8-4-1 match, and it was an 8-man tag that became a fatal 4-way between the winning team. But I changed it a little bit.
I do fuck with the 8-4-1.
It's a lot.
But yeah, I'm gonna make a more convoluted match type. I'm determined now. I've got to do it. Point system, penalty box, in and outside the ring, maybe a cage. I don't know.
So you just do an Iron Survivor cage match.
Sure.
But in order to win, you have to get in the cage instead of out of the cage.
Oh yeah,
And
TNA.
by the way, the cage is on fire.
Yes. And electrified. This is an electrified cage.
Oh,
And
even
one man
better.
is blindfolded.
It's a Punjabi prison you have to get into.
And you start off in a pod. Trying to break yourself out.
$10.
$10. Sold.
Hey, this might be the shortest Travis episode ever of BookItVerse.
And it's still an average regular BookIt episode.
This is shorter than BookItVerse 1.
Remember when we could get 2 BookItVerse on one.
Yeah, because we
episode.
weren't doing anything. We were just be like, so they basically Roman Reigns is the heel and Triple H is the baby face, and they're basically beefing over the title, and they're going back and forth on the mic, having them good promos, and then they have a match. And it's back and forth, it's good, but it ends after he goes for the spear, but Triple H kicks him and hits the pedigree instead, reverses the spear, and that's my match. And we'd be like, damn, y'all, you really went in depth with that one. That's a 4.5.
I don't think it was that extreme.
It wasn't.
Obviously,
but we should go back to that
funny,
format. I miss it.
Hyperbolic for comedy purposes.
That's fair.
We can get we can get the whole next BookItVerse done if in a week if we just
and by the way, fuck y'all. Fuck y'all.
Why?
I really gave y'all the first forbidden door, and I got.
Oh no, I still hated it.
For.
I hated it.
I gave you good scores.
I was still mad about
I gave you
it.
good
Accurately.
scores.
Hey,
No, you
me and
didn't.
Travis gave y'all the first forbidden door. And
No,
it was
you did not,
amazing
Damone.
pay-per-view.
I gave you good enough.
You
I was
both,
gonna say,
all three of y'all.
I remember
all
for a
three
fact
of y'all.
you would say Damone and John were the meanest to me for it.
Yeah.
John said these matches are too fire. I
thought I
cannot
hated
give
it.
you all fives. And that was right at his mouth. I could not give you.
No,
all
I think
fives for these
the issue was that
It was all just fire
it was
matches.
all
though.
it was all just
Well, right. That was the
fantasy
problem.
matchups.
I don't see a problem with that.
There was in
There was no
BookItVerse 1,
story.
we had rules.
No, there were stories. It was just the fact that y'all said this is too good.
I don't think that's what we said.
John literally said that.
It was-
No, I said the card was too good. However,
I'll never
like,
forget. It was Kofi.
it was lacking
against
other things.
RVD, and you said this shit is too fire. I cannot give you a 5. I
Hey.
need to give you. I need
I
to
know
cut
you-
this down a little bit.
And
You're just
on
upset
like
that I
a couple of them,
discovered-
you did a couple rehashes that didn't add that much. Like when you did Jericho Michaels, it was like, yep, seen this.
And that's why y'all got the pipe bomb.
Oh, you're just I get it. You're upset that I found the great new talent in Casey Catton and Zaro.
I
Made her
also-
it made her a champion in BookItVerse 2.
I gave her a
Wait,
German
BookItVerse
suplex on the
2.
top rope. He said, I don't know about that, Chief. I don't know.
And then the next BookItVerse had her do that same move.
Yeah, fuck you.
Hey, I had a double turn in the form of the Lake of Reincarnation, and nobody gave me my respect.
Did you have a
Nobody
bomb
cared
go
about
off?
the Lake Minnetonka.
I don't remember none of that, to be honest
I
with
don't
you.
remember.
I
don't even
remember-
remember my own.
It was
let
the
alone
fe-
any of
'cause
yours.
John did the Funhouse thing where they
Yeah,
had the
yeah.
bounce
Matt
house.
Hardy and the Undertaker both came out opposite versions and thus double turn.
I'm
Like
sure
Matt
now I
Hardy
probably
came
like
out normal,
it.
and the Undertaker came out creepy.
I'm sure I hated it back then.
We all
You
did.
did. The bounce house explosion was fire.
No, that sounds bad.
You know what I love about John?
He left it on a
John will
cliffhanger.
get like unanimous 3.5s, and he will ride that till the end of time. He'll be like, "Remember that dope match I had?" Like, no, I don't. Like, it was just a match. He's like, nope, greatest of all
Maybe-
time.
Even if I get all fives, y'all like that shit was mid. What are you talking about?
Well, because you don't shut up about it. That's the problem.
Remember when I gave y'all the chef and y'all said fuck you, and then like a week
I did
later,
not say
that
fuck
chef
you.
came out, and then y'all was like, "Oh, I love this chef shit." Fuck y'all again, by the way.
No, I don't remember.
Well, we want the chef now
never
because we hate
happened.
John Moxley.
I want it
Fuck
on the
chef
record.
then.
Wait. Let's put some context into this.
I was all about Chef
Let's
O'Reilly.
no. Chef O'Reilly came out after a blood feud where John Moxley got retired by the evil Roman Reigns, his former brother, just to beat Roman Reigns and take the world title.
I don't see the problem.
Now keep all that there. Now,
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike.
It's good.
the
That's good
guy
booking.
we liked, that Luigi guy that we don't like now because he's a bad person, but he was a comedy character on the indies in front of like 15 people spinning a fucking pizza dough in his hands. There's a big difference in the two.
I thought you were talking about Luigi Mangione
Well-
for a second.
Well,
I
my
was
guy
like,
had
wait.
my guy had a pizza cutter, and he was cutting foreheads.
I
open.
like Chef O'Reilly.
Thank you, Mike.
That's
No.
disgusting.
Yuck.
No,
Chef O'Reilly.
no, that
I
was
liked
Nick
it.
Cage to Chris Jericho.
Y'all
that was
just
doing that.
weren't ready yet. That's all that was. Y'all weren't
Hey,
ready for it yet.
Hey, remember when John took points away from me because Finn Balor licked a little blood and then he popped for fucking Hangman drinking Swerve's blood?
Well, that's different.
I didn't think that would ever happen in reality.
One's a drink, one's a lick.
I didn't like the comment
Sorry.
that someone actually did it.
What's a lick? And fuck Travis too.
And fuck you too.
Yeah, fuck Travis.
Fuck
That
him.
man said, fuck this power up shit. And then we went to a show together and literally popped for a power up.
Well, at the show, you got to pop for everything.
Yeah, it's different.
It's way different.
Yeah, fuck
Yeah,
He
him.
we
don't like
really
to give
hate
no
each other on
context.
Nah, ain't no context. Fuck that.
He trying to manipulate the narrative. He pulling a Roddy Piper right now.
Power up.
He twisting the story around.
Oh, because Sandman blessed us with a power up before Finn Balor ever did. Shout out to the Sandman, doing big things.
I always think it's definitely is Sandman, but I always remember it as being Bubba Ray Dudley, and I don't know why.
Nope, it was a Sandman that blessed us with that perfect match against Shane McMahon in Hell in a Cell.
And
$5.
it's Bubba Ray in my head. It's Bubba
I
Ray
still
Dudley
defend
with
that.
a kendo stick and a can of beer. So like I know it's fucking Sandman, but for whatever reason, it's Bubba Ray Dudley in my brain.
No, Sandman was dying. He got a little taste of that beer. He was like, ah! Ah!
$10.
Exactly. Shout out to you, John.
Yeah.
You're a good person.
Remember
Forget
when
anything I ever said about you.
Hey, remember when he said it was too
Forget
fire?
what you said 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, fuck John again. Just that
Bottom 2 promo.
fact.
And he ate too.
Hey, I didn't do it this time, Mike.
High five,
I
Mike.
still didn't do it.
Circa
You did.
2024.
I did not do it.
Did it.
You just did it. What do you mean?
I did not do it. That was
We
Damone.
were all here.
That was.
Saw it.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
sure.
find that episode where he said.
Go
he was
ahead.
about to- I will go back.
I thought that was in the group chat. That wasn't in the promo. He said
No,
it
it was
in
the
chat.
beginning of the show.
I
he
said
that.
something,
It's the
and
beginning of
then
an episode.
you
I was
followed
there.
up with
That'll
bottom
help you,
2
Kenny.
promo.
Yeah, it was.
Kenny.
He literally. I was going back and forth, and he was like, "Yes, well, you're a bottom 2 promo."
That,
Is
you
it
said
the
that.
bookies?
I don't know what. I
It was
can't
not
remember
the
what he said.
bookies.
I
It's
just remember
been
Well,
way long.
After this year's
Has it been
bookie,
way
he
longer
ain't
than that?
ever calling me a bottom 2 promo because I cut that pipe bomb on all your bitch asses, whatever, and hired the award. And that's
Well,
the fishing line because
Whatever
Shark
this
Boy
is
said so.
happening just brought you back down.
my pipeline was better. Pipe bomb was better. You know, saying pipeline. You
Hey, I'm gonna give y'all a little preview for part 3, night 2 of Civil War.
Ayo.
You may or may not see a certain dirty utensil, if you know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Rusty spoon.
The rusty spoon.
You might have to make a visit.
Oh shit!
$10.
The official bar of BookItVerse.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Hey, what did y'all think about my ODB? No, the whole sequence, the slingshot, the suffocate them
fuck.
with the titties.
$10.
Yeah.
Okay, I was glad y'all liked that.
Y'all nutted. Just flat out.
It's like when the Titantron shows Gunther as Gooner.
Remember when Jada Parker got her ass smacked and that dude passed out in the crowd? That was John when you said that with the titties. He passed out like he did.
I'm a man.
Anywho.
What are you talking about?
Let's wrap this shit up.
Yeah.
We're still
I'm
on
like-
air.
Yes.
High Five Mike, can we find you anywhere?
No, leave me alone.
Damn, fuck that guy. Damone, where
agree.
can I find
You
you?
can find me on all the bullshit not owned by Elon Musk at DumbMoney T13 DAMONEY T13.
All right. Primetime Travvy T, where can they find you?
You can find me everywhere at IAMTRAVVYT. That is at IamTravvyT on all social media.
He finally got his V back.
Yeah. We had to campaign for that shit.
Stella-
Bad
Stella
guy
got his V back.
37 shows.
All right, y'all can go ahead and say it with me at this point. You can catch me on all social medias at The Bad Guy Spoken. You can catch The Bad Guy Spoken podcast on YouTube. And you can catch Unbiased, CTK at the little you like this. Just number football on that podcast. And you can catch Hood Movie Review, where we review your favorite and not so favorite hood movies. And you can also catch Geek in the motherfucking Sheets, where we talk all things anime, Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, all that shit. And then last but not least, you can also catch, I almost said Book It. You can also catch Not a Real Court, where we argue things like fruit.
That's fruit. Because we never do
Not
vegetables.
vegetables.
Yeah, no vegetables. We're never doing vegetables, just fruit.
So. Also, fuck
Can
John
we-
for fucking up the vegetables.
Can we do best VeggieTale character?
The menu is better. Fuck you.
Veggie
Is that too close?
I'm not.
That is a little too close.
Sorry, Damone. I'm inclusive of
I'm
all.
just
foods
trying to
and
see
dietary
where the line
restrictions.
is. That's all I'm doing. I'm trying to see where the line is.
Well, you passed.
Can we do best salad ingredients?
Salad ingredients. If it ain't croutons, we can't do it. All you can do is croutons. All I'm giving you, just croutons.
Not even cheese, dressing,
Nope, too close.
meat.
Nope, too close. Just
Now,
croutons. All
now
you
I'm
get.
confused.
You ain't meant to get it. It's just anything's too close to make croutons.
And lastly, if you want to find me anywhere, it'll just be at Heel Pepsi Man on Blue Sky, where I be talking that shit, getting called a Nazi by AEW fans for not liking John Moxley. That shit was tough. Please help me.
Now let him suffer.
And also, if you play WWE 2K25 on PC, you can find some goated creator wrestlers. I put Leon Slater up yesterday, so I be creating wrestlers, mainly TNA guys. So check that out. With that said, that's been an episode of Book It. See ya.
Bye.